If you're over 60, your daily walk could secretly be raising your risk of a stroke while you sleep. No pain, no warning, just one moment you're fine, the next your speech slurs or your arm won't move. Walking is praised as the safest form of exercise, and most of the time it is. But what if I told you there are 9 walking mistakes that can turn this healthy habit into a hidden threat? By the end of this video, you'll know how to walk in a way that protects your brain, strengthens your body, and keeps your independence. If you believe walking is always safe no matter what, type 0 in the comments. If you're open to learning some surprising truths, type 1. Now here's the shocking part. One of the most dangerous mistakes doesn't strike while you're walking. It strikes hours later while you're asleep. Once you hear this, you'll never look at your daily walk the same way again. The first mistake is walking without water. As we age, our sense of thirst dulls. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already running behind. Your blood thickens, becomes sticky, and clots form more easily. And they often strike in the early morning hours, when blood pressure naturally rises. That's when strokes hit hardest. Imagine going to bed after a healthy walk and waking up unable to lift your arm. I've seen it happen. One retired firefighter, proud and strong, walked daily for years but refused to carry water. Said it made him look like a tourist. He went to bed one evening healthy, but woke up paralyzed on his right side. No blocked arteries, no heart condition, just thickened blood from years of mild dehydration. If you sometimes skip water before your walks, type 0. If you always drink first, type 1. Here's the payoff. Even mild dehydration makes blood 10% thicker. That small change is enough to clog the brain's fragile vessels. The fix? Drink a glass before and after your walk. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Carry a small bottle if you need to. That one habit may be the reason you wake up refreshed instead of waking up in an ambulance. But water isn't the only silent danger. What if I told you the very sunlight you've been told to enjoy for vitamin D could also be inflaming your brain's blood vessels every time you step outside unprotected? That's mistake number 2. Sunshine feels wonderful. It boosts your mood and helps your bones. But ultraviolet rays don't stop at your skin. They trigger inflammation in the lining of your blood vessels, making them weaker and more likely to clot. Elaine, a widow in her 70s, walked her dog every evening in Arizona without a hat or sunglasses. She thought she was doing everything right. But one morning, she collapsed with a stroke. Her tests showed no heart disease, no cholesterol buildup, just years of vascular inflammation caused by unprotected sun exposure. That's the payoff. Sunlight can quietly harm your circulation just as much as it helps your bones. The solution is easy. Wear a wide-brimmed hat, UV sunglasses, light long sleeves, and avoid peak hours. If you usually walk with no sun protection, type 0. If you cover up, type 1. Now here's the next loop. What happens if your body starts failing during a walk? Your step drags, your words slur, but no one is there to notice. That's mistake number 3, and it might be the most dangerous of all. Walking alone feels peaceful. Many seniors love the solitude. But strokes often begin with small signs. A brief numbness, a sudden stumble, a few seconds of confusion. When you're alone, you brush it off. When someone else is there, they see it for what it is, a medical emergency. I'll never forget Leonard, a 75-year-old widower who walked alone every morning. One day, he suddenly forgot which direction he'd come from. His right leg felt heavy, but he shook it off and finished his route. The next day, he suffered a full stroke. That weird spell had been his warning, but there was no one there to catch it. The truth is clear. Walking partners, senior groups, or even a phone with a medical alert button can make the difference between recovery and permanent disability. If you usually walk alone, type 0. If you walk with someone, type 1. And here's the curiosity that keeps us moving forward. You might think the danger comes from walking too far or too fast. But what if the real danger isn't distance or speed? It's timing. In the next section, you'll learn why walking after a heavy dinner, something many people believe is healthy, could actually be putting you at risk while you sleep. What if the real danger of walking isn't how fast you go or how far you go, but when you go? That's mistake number 4, and it takes many seniors by surprise. Walking after a heavy dinner seems harmless. Some even think it helps with digestion, but here's what really happens inside your body. After a meal, blood flow is redirected to your stomach to handle digestion. That means there's less circulation available for your brain. Add walking immediately afterward, and now your muscles are demanding blood too. Where does that blood come from? Too often it's borrowed from your brain. Harriet, a retired piano teacher in her 70s, made this mistake every night. Dinner, then a brisk walk around her neighborhood. She thought she was doing the healthiest thing possible. But one morning, her neighbor found her confused and unable to speak. She'd suffered a stroke during the night. Her tests showed no clogged arteries, no major heart problems, just a surge in blood pressure and thickened blood from her evening routine. Her after-dinner walk had quietly set the stage for disaster. The payoff is simple. Wait at least 90 minutes after a heavy meal before walking. Light strolls are fine, but save longer or brisker walks for the morning or afternoon. If you've ever walked right after dinner thinking it was good for you, type 0 in the comments. If you usually wait before walking, type 1. But here's the twist. Even if you time your walk perfectly, the way you hold your body while walking might still be silently cutting off blood flow to your brain. That's mistake number 5, and it's one of the most overlooked of all. Most seniors naturally look down when they walk, scanning the ground for cracks or uneven pavement. It feels safer. But slouching forward and bending the neck compresses the arteries in your neck that carry blood to your brain. For people with stiff or narrowed arteries, this extra pressure can make the difference between steady blood flow and a dangerous reduction. Albert, a retired accountant in his late 70s, came to me after experiencing a mini stroke. His symptoms passed quickly, but when he showed me his usual walking stance, the issue was clear. His head bent sharply forward, eyes glued to the ground, shoulders rounded. An ultrasound confirmed his blood flow dropped significantly in this position. The posture he thought was keeping him safe was actually starving his brain of oxygen. The payoff is powerful. Walk tall. Keep your chin up, your gaze forward, your shoulders gently back. Small adjustments free your arteries and improve circulation. Walking poles can also help. If you usually walk with your head down, type 0. If you walk tall and look ahead, type 1. Now here's the new loop. Even if you hydrate, protect yourself from the sun. Avoid walking alone. Wait after meals. And fix your posture. There's still one everyday mistake hiding right under your feet. That's mistake number 6, and it has to do with your shoes. Most people think shoes are just about comfort. But after 60, the fat pads on the bottoms of the feet thin out, arches flatten, and joints stiffen. Shoes that once felt fine can suddenly start disrupting circulation and throwing off balance. Slip-ons, sandals, or overly tight shoes compress veins, slow blood return from your legs, and encourage clot formation. Over time, this doesn't just hurt your feet, it quietly changes the way your whole body moves. Jeannie, a retired librarian, walked daily with her sister, but she wore old canvas slip-ons she said were light and easy. After months, she developed tingling in her toes, then dizziness, then one day she fell. Tests revealed a clot in her leg that had traveled to her brain, causing a small stroke. The cause wasn't her diet, her heart, or her genes, it was her shoes. The payoff is clear. Supportive shoes with proper arch support and cushioning protect your stride, your circulation, and your balance. Avoid worn-out soles and overly tight fits. Replace shoes regularly so they don't alter your gait. If you usually pick shoes just for convenience, type 0. If you choose supportive footwear, type 1. But let's open the next loop. Even with perfect shoes, what about the very ground you walk on? Uneven trails, steep hills, or tilted sidewalks may seem harmless, but they could be quietly spiking your blood pressure and straining your heart in ways you don't even notice. In the next section, you'll discover how the ground beneath your feet might be setting you up for the most dangerous mistake of all. If you're still watching and learning something new, type 1 right now so I know you're with me. What if I told you the very ground beneath your feet could be quietly raising your blood pressure, straining your heart, and even triggering a stroke? That's mistake number 7, and it's one that hides in plain sight. Uneven sidewalks, gravel trails, steep hills. They might feel like good exercise, even a challenge to keep you sharp. But here's what really happens inside your body. Every uphill step forces your heart to pump harder. Every downhill slope throws off your balance. On rocky or tilted surfaces, your muscles, eyes, and brain are working overtime to keep you steady. For seniors, this sudden extra demand can spike blood pressure in seconds. If your arteries are stiff or partially blocked, that surge can dislodge plaque or trigger clot formation. And the scary part? You won't feel it until it's too late. Raymond, an 81-year-old retired inspector, loved his forest trail. He swore it kept him young. One morning after a rainy night, he slipped slightly on a muddy slope. He didn't fall, but his heart raced and his head spun. Later that day, he suffered a stroke. Imaging showed microclots in his brain, likely triggered by that surge in blood pressure from the uneven ground. The payoff is simple. Choose flat, safe walking paths. Sidewalks, school tracks, and even indoor malls protect your circulation while still giving you all the health benefits of walking. If you often walk on uneven or steep ground, type 0. If you stick to flat paths, type 1. But here's the new loop. Even if your ground is safe and your shoes are perfect, what if the biggest danger comes not from your body at all, but from your mind? That's mistake number 8, walking while distracted. Phones, podcasts, daydreams, they may keep you entertained, but they also split your attention. The aging brain has fewer resources for multitasking, which means you miss the earliest signals of a stroke. A sudden heavy leg, slurred words, or blurred vision. All of these can be brushed off if you're not paying attention. Donna, a 77-year-old retired teacher, loved her morning walks with headphones on, listening to her favorite podcast. One day she stumbled when her left leg felt weak. She shrugged it off as stiffness, but her speech was already slurring and she didn't notice. Luckily, a neighbor spotted her and called for help. Donna survived, but she later admitted, "If I hadn't been listening to that podcast, maybe I would have realized something was wrong." The payoff is clear. Make your walk sacred. No headphones, no phone calls, no distractions. Listen to your body. It's always giving you signals. You just have to be present enough to hear them. If you usually walk distracted, type 0. If you walk with focus, type 1. Now here's the final loop, and it may be the most surprising of all. What if the most dangerous walking mistake doesn't happen while you're walking, but hours later, while you're asleep? That's mistake number 9, walking too late in the evening. Evening strolls sound peaceful. Many believe they help with relaxation. But exercise stimulates your body. It raises adrenaline, speeds your heart, and activates your nervous system. If you walk too close to bedtime, your body doesn't fully reset before sleep. That means you enter the most vulnerable hours, between 2 and 4 in the morning, with elevated blood pressure and constricted blood vessels. For seniors, this is the perfect storm for stroke. Dennis, an 80-year-old veteran, walked every evening around 8 o'clock. He said it helped him unwind. But one morning, he didn't wake up as usual. His wife found him with half his face slack, unable to speak. He had suffered a massive stroke in his sleep. His medical history was controlled. No major heart disease, no cholesterol crisis, just overstimulation from late-night walks. The payoff: move your walks earlier in the day. Morning or early afternoon are safest. If you love evening strolls, keep them light and finish at least 2 hours before bedtime. If you usually walk late, type 0. If you walk earlier, type 1. Now let's bring it all together. Walking is not the enemy, it's medicine. But after 60, the details matter. Skipping water, ignoring the sun, walking alone, going out after a heavy meal, slouching your posture, wearing the wrong shoes, tackling uneven ground, getting distracted, or walking too late at night. Each mistake stacks the odds against your brain. Here's the truth. Your body at 70 is not the same as it was at 40. It requires wisdom, not just effort. And the good news is, every one of these risks is preventable. Drink water. Protect yourself from the sun. Walk with a partner when you can. Wait after meals. Stand tall. Wear supportive shoes. Stick to flat paths. Stay present. And keep your walks earlier in the day. Small adjustments, massive protection. I'll leave you with the words of Margaret, an 84-year-old stroke survivor. After recovering from a mini stroke caused by a late walk in cold evening air, she told me, "I thought I was walking toward health, but I was walking in the wrong direction." Let's make sure you're walking in the right direction, toward strength, clarity, and independence. If you learned something today, type 1 in the comments. If you're still not sure, type 0. Either way, your feedback shapes what we share next. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Inspired Living, and share it with someone you love. And in our next video, I'll reveal the single 5-minute morning habit that protects your brain almost as much as a prescription pill. It's simple, it's free, and it could change your mornings forever.